Good afternoon, I'm Malcolm Jordan and this is your Midday News Fix for Friday, the 11th of April. The US is keen to secure new trade deals with its major trading partners, including China. Donald Trump's temporarily lowered most tariffs to 10%, with 25% tariffs still in place for steel and aluminium and most Canadian and Mexican goods. However, tariffs on Chinese goods have now reached 145%. Trump advisor Kevin Hassett says officials are starting negotiations to get deals over the line.
We're setting up a very orderly process to prioritize countries and to make sure that countries that are most important for getting this to the finish line are the countries that we bring in first.
No regrets from ACT leader David Seymour over spearheading the Treaty Principles Bill. The controversial bill was voted down by all but its own MPs at its second reading yesterday. Some MPs called it racist, divisive, ugly, grubby and an assault on history and rights. Seymour told Mike Hosking he's standing up for equal human rights.
Obviously it's taking a while for certain people in Parliament to catch on to that, but the challenge is, how else do they want a country to work?
Meanwhile, the Toitū Te Tiriti movement says it's continuing to rise from the grave of the bill. Organiser Eru Kapakingi says despite the constitutional implications of the legislation, it wasn't too surprising Prime Minister Chris Luxon wasn't there for its second reading. He says he could feel the passion of those who did attend.
My question was always in response to those sorts of speeches and those grand expressions is whether they hold through thick and thin and whether they are as loud as sort of tangata whenua rights when it really matters.
A man who's admitted murdering pensioner Frances Phelps, known as Faye, at her Christchurch home last year, can now be identified as being a mental health patient. Courtney Winter has more.
Elliot Alfred James Cameron, aged in his 70s, has entered a guilty plea at the High Court in Christchurch. Police previously said the pair knew each other, but it can now be revealed Cameron, a patient at Hillmorton Hospital, was Phelps' gardener. The specifics of the murder cannot yet be published. Cameron has been remanded in custody until sentencing in June.
There are no survivors from a helicopter crash in New York City's Hudson River. The pilot and 5 Spanish tourists, including 3 children, were on board. Videos posted on social media show the helicopter mostly submerged, upside down in the water. One witness says it sounded like a sonic boom as he saw the helicopter splitting in two with the rotor flying off. CNN correspondent Bryn Gingras says the flight path reveals they followed the river and then looped around the Statue of Liberty.
What we're understanding is all those people on board, it's possible they were tourists. This is obviously a very tourist area that a helicopter would be flying to get all those views of Manhattan.
To sport. 3-time America's Cup winner Peter Burling is leaving Team New Zealand. Discussions by the team management and Burling have been ongoing since Barcelona. However, an agreement has not been reached. The next America's Cup does not yet have a host. A 7-under par round of 65 has Justin Rose in the lead after the opening round of golf's Masters by 3 strokes. And Blues Chief Executive Andrew Hoare has invited Joey Manu to have a phone call, with reports the code hopper is keen to ditch his upcoming French contract. I'm Malcolm Jordan. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.